Hey guys, Miss Naylor here. We're going to go over Daily Language Week 2 really quickly. Let's start with number 1. At the beginning of number 1, we have to capitalize the because it's the first word in the sentence. Then we're going to capitalize runner and underline it because it's the title of the novel. When I look at this, I know that there's a subject. Runner is the subject. And I know that there's a predicate. In revealed, that's my simple predicate. But I'm noticing as I go through this that there's more than one. He longed. The novel Runner revealed the trials of a boy living in poverty. He longed to live a life like his peers and not worry about paying rent. Okay, so I have my subject and my predicate. But because I have two, I have to decide what I'm going to do here. I have to find a way to combine or separate these sentences, one of the two. So you have 3 choices to fit right here. You could have put a period. You could have put a semicolon, which connects 2 sentences with related ideas. Or you could have done a comma and a coordinating conjunction, like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. So I would not suggest this for this particular sentence just because the word and is already in this sentence. I would choose either a period or a semicolon. If you choose a period, capitalize he. If you choose a semicolon, you don't. Pretty simple, right? I want to talk about a common mistake I see in this sentence. A lot of people like to put commas around runner, the novel comma, runner comma, and that isn't actually correct. So let's talk about why really quickly. At the top of my paper, I have my bats and I have my ghost, okay? I have 3 bats. We're going to name them Lola, Jane, and Susie. Because there are 3 bats, and if I'm telling you about one of my bats, I have to tell you which one, right? So, my bat, Jane, eats jelly beans. This is telling me which one. Which bat are we talking about? Because it's which one, there are no commas. Just like here. The novel. Which novel? Runner. No commas. At the same time, over here I have my ghost. My ghost's name is Casper. If I'm talking about Casper and I say the ghost, Casper, haunted my classroom. I only have one ghost. There's only one option. So it has to have commas on both sides. You're just naming here, you're giving additional information. We already knew which ghost because there was only one. So you have to have commas. Okay? Now, go ahead and pause and make sure that you have all of the information for sentence number 1, and then we're going to move on to sentence number 2. Once you've restarted, let's go ahead and look at sentence number 2, so move down on the page. I read the chapter entitled, If a Student Wants to Succeed in the Book, How to Make Good Grades. It was very helpful. Now, I always has to be capitalized, so I'm going to go ahead and capitalize that, plus it's the beginning of my sentence. I read the chapter entitled. Okay, so it's about to tell me the title of the chapter. If a student wants to succeed in the book, How to Make Good Grades. I think I have 2 titles happening here, so I'm going to slow down and figure out if a student wants to succeed. This is an article, so it doesn't get capitalized. I don't capitalize the A. 2 is a preposition, so it doesn't get capitalized. I have to decide now if this is a chapter, what kind of punctuation I want. I'm going to put some quotation marks because a chapter is it's a small part of a bigger work. The bigger work being the book it mentions down here. How to make good grades. So let's do the same thing. How, 2 is a preposition, I don't capitalize it. Make good grades. It was very helpful. That sounds a little cumbersome, so I'm going to take a good look at my sentence, oh, I forgot my period on number 1. Make sure you put yours in, sorry. On number 2, I'm going to look again at my sentence and decide, do I have 1 or 2 subjects and predicates? So I is a subject, red is the simple predicate. The chapter entitled, If a Student Wants to Succeed in the Book, How to Make Good Grades. It is a subject, simple subject. Was is my simple predicate. So I have to separate these sentences, and I have those same options as before. Right here, I can choose to either put a period, a semicolon, because these 2 sentences are related, or I could put comma and. Any of those would be okay. Decide which one you want. Check sentence number 2. Go ahead and pause, and then you can start it back up when you're ready for sentence number 3. And our last sentence for daily language this week. Robert Frost's poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay, certainly captures the truth, which helps us appreciate the good in life, those we love, and the choices we have. The first thing I do, of course, is capitalize Robert Frost's name. And because Robert Frost's poem, this shows ownership, right? I have to add an apostrophe here. Whose poem is it? It's Robert Frost's. It tells me the name of the poem here, and it's telling me which one, so I know I don't need any commas. I'm going to put quotation marks around the name of the poem because it's a short work. And I'm going to capitalize Robert Frost's poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay, certainly captures the truth, which helps us appreciate the good in life, those we love, and the choices we have. I'm going to go ahead and put my period, and then I'm going to work back and figure out where I need commas. So just like we talked about with which one and additional information earlier, the words which and that have different rules. That never gets a comma because it's information we need for the sentence. Which, however, is extra information. It's additional information. The sentence would still work without it and make perfect sense. So in this case, it gets a comma. Captures the truth, comma, which helps us appreciate the good in life, those we love, and the choices we have. Now you'll see I put 2 commas there, not just 1. I did that because we use the Oxford comma here. When we make a list, we always put the Oxford comma before the last conjunction, the end of the series, okay? So if you were to take a daily language quiz and you left out this comma, you would be counted incorrect. You would lose the points for that comma because we always use the Oxford comma in 7th and 8th grade at Country Day, okay? The Oxford comma is really good for helping our reader understand the difference between where we have 2 things that are connected and when we have 2 different things that are in a list. And we will continue talking about that this year, okay? Make sure that you've got this sentence all corrected. Oh! Let's go ahead and find our subject. Robert Frost's poem, Nothing Gold Can Stay. And I could actually just make this my simple subject because these all describe Nothing Gold Can Stay. And my verb is captures. That's my simple predicate, okay? Make sure yours are correct. Go ahead and rewrite all your sentences. And have a great day, guys.